Hello, my friends. It is Take Home Tuesday time. And as always, on Tuesdays, most generally on Tuesdays, that is, we come to you with a quick, easy, kind of crafty sewing, baking, something creative that maybe can inspire you or bring some entertainment to you. Now, it's not always for the, what shall we say, highly talented person. Sometimes it's very quick, easy, simple. Perhaps something that can be done with grandchildren, or if you're a teacher in a classroom or preschool, sometimes it's using things that are left over. Well, today we have one of those projects for you. We are about spreading the love around here. And so we've been inspired by a lot of things that we've been seeing lately with people sharing and inspiring each other to be thoughtful to other people. So today we are taking some very simple things that you might have around. And if you've watched previous episodes, we know we sometimes use a lot of yarn because it seems like you buy one of these and it lasts forever. This one happens to be from my grandma, left over from her stuff. So it's kind of fun. It kind of brings the love back to me. But today we're making, to hang in our window, you can go back and view a previous episode of some cloth hearts we made. But today we're making just little yarn hearts. Super simple. I actually think this would be quite adorable if instead of yarn I used some jute and put some little lace on it and made a little bit more of personalization to it. Perhaps on this one a bedazzle or some beads. We got some of those little glittery things in a card recently. Maybe we could sprinkle on something like that. But again, super simple. Heidi's behind the camera, but I just like literally did this when I was standing here talking.
Super easy.
Great when you're watching the TV shows at night. You can make them anything. But this, all it is scrap piece of cardboard. You got a shoebox, cut the lid into cardboard, cut it up into a heart. Then we just simply started with wrapping. And there's no rhyme or reason to this wrapping at all. We just started wrapping around and around and around. And I just always like to tuck that in under. Maybe I want to go this way. I could probably figure out how to make it really nice and do a nice little pattern or something with it. Oops, I started with the wrong end of the yarn. Hold on. Redo. Get the right string coming out of the yarn. Oh, you can see on the back my hearts that I didn't use because I didn't like how I traced it. But it's very simple, just wrapping around and around. And again, jute would be one way to another thing you could use. Ribbon, I suppose, could be also used. So now I'm going to switch to the other side just because I want to do something different. And I'm just going to wrap it around and around and around and around and around. Again, no thought I can switch directions. I could do it all over the place. In fact, it could be kind of cute if you didn't want to cover the whole thing and you just wanted to leave it kind of open to paint your cardboard underneath it first. You could use some glitter underneath the string and leave it an open-ended looking heart. Then at the end of it, all I did was simply, I hot glued the end of the string, I tied a little loop, and I glued it onto the top. We're going to add it to our hearts in the window here, but again, something fun could be done, put in a Valentine's Day. This one ends up being pretty puffy because I wrapped a lot on it. I kind of like the idea of painting it first or putting a special message. Maybe you want to put a special message under here, and as you gift it at Valentine's Day, they have to unwrap all of it to get to find out a clue. Do you ever do a clue game where you hide something and they have to find the clues? Boy, that would be fun. See? Hide your clues behind your yarn and they have to find the yarn hearts and then find their next clue. That would be a fun game to play too. Okay, the other thing that we have here, and now I have it behind us today, was a project we're working on. It is still in progress. It's not all the way done. Here for Hen and Chicks Studio, we still have the binding to put on it. But with all these strips of fabric, I have all these little pieces of fabric left. Do you ever have that happen? So another thing I could do with a piece of cardboard, cut it out. I'm going to use my Mod Podge or your glue. You could use Elmer's glue. You could use anything. I'm simply taking, these are literally scraps, and I'm just going to start, put some Mod Podge down first. If we had another episode, oh gosh, it's been a while ago, where we did some Mod Podging with some different items. But for me, I have this little piece, so it's not on there. You could use a silicone mat underneath if you wanted to. That wouldn't stick. I am literally going to just take my pieces of fabric and start laying them. And I'm going to layer some pieces of fabric on top of each other here. And I'm not worried about any edges or what it looks like, because I'm just going to start layering one on top of the other, and then cut some of these off. But I'm not going to worry about cutting the shape quite yet. Of course, I could start making a pattern. I need to find my scraps better here, be better organized with my scraps. I could do every other color. I could start creating some patterns within the patterns. Then I'm going to come back over the top of the fabric. Get that straight. To adhere it on there nicely. And I'm just layering some of it. See what I'm doing? I'm just layering. Nothing set in stone, just kind of playing along as I go. And you could use there is also different finishes in the Mod Podge as well. So you could have different, if you wanted a different sheen. Okay, so I'm just layering. You see the idea, right? You're just kind of coming back over. But what I'm not doing is worrying about trimming it, because I'm going to trim these edges around the heart later. So after it's gotten dry, I'm going to take my heart and trim, so then it's exact with the heart, instead of trying to trim it as I go and then it maybe isn't exact. But I'm going to start just filling in some of these. And again, I actually literally took this out of my trash can. So just another fun way to maybe use up some of your scraps that you might have laying around. Oh, I like this one. We better put this one on there too. Just starting to layer it on top of each other. Now, same thing here. I could come back and I could add in, after I get this all done and let these layers dry, I could add in some lace around the outside edge. That would be really cute after you get it cut around. You remember those old days that we did that? Oh, and if you're calling,
we'll get you in a minute.
Yep, we'll
go to voicemail.
Heidi and I are here today, so you could come back and you could add some bedazzle or personalization on top of it later. But I'm going to add, because I just like the finish that it gives when you put the layering on top and bottom. It gets it all stuck in place. And I missed a corner on the top up there, so again, nothing, it's set in stone here. You can layer as many layers as you want. You know, it'd be really fun, Heidi, we talked about this one time, is using some other pieces of fabric or different media, and you could cut out letters and layer them on top of it, buttons.
Yep.
Any of those type of things. And maybe other people have different ideas of how they've done it. Of course, like at Hobby Lobby and such, you can buy wooden shapes if you wanted to make it more permanent. So obviously we can't do it now. Let that dry, come out, trim our fabric nicely on the edges. And then again, we could double side it, we can hang it in the window, we can send it to somebody, we can do something fun.
Could put a message on the back.
Could put a message on the back, yes. Just don't use the shoebox, use the other side of it.
That's right.
If you want a message on the back, so many different things to spread the love. And you know, you probably have some scraps laying someplace that you could do that with. Maybe you don't even want it on a heart. I don't know. Just a couple ideas for you today. So again, we just did very simple things we had laying around. We didn't have to purchase anything. So until next Tuesday, we hope you are inspired to spread the love, have fun, and be creative.